In what will go down as one of the worst matches of recent memory at Red Bull Arena, the New York Red Bulls fall by a score of 3-0, blanked by the Lions of Orlando City on Saturday in match day 17 of the 2023 MLS season. I'm James Burley for WFUV Sports. Going into this one, the Red Bulls had a lot to be confident about, coming off of that recent road trip in Seattle on Saturday, a 1-0 loss, but a decent showing, one that you'd expect to lose to a tough Seattle team. Then on the road to Miami, getting a 1-0 win on the road midweek, forcing Phil Neville to be left from the helm. Must have been an awkward conversation there between him and David Beckham. But then coming in Saturday, going home for your final match before the international break, their 9th match in 28 days, lots of minutes riding up. You think that they could have a very positive way of going into that international break, but unfortunately everything went wrong, especially in that second half. But it would be early on that Orlando would capitalize on a great chance. Ivan Angulo made a terrific run across the New York Red Bulls backline before slipping it in behind it was Wilder Cartagena, who had a very, very strong first half, playing the Colombian winger in. He beat one defender and slotted it home past the helpless Carlos Coronel, an early 1-0 lead in the 18th minute for Orlando City. The Red Bulls would have some ideas in that first half, chances here and there. Luquinhas looking very good in his return from injury. He's had 4 great performances since coming back. Looked like he hasn't really missed a beat back in that early 2022 form that made him such an exciting player to have in New York. He's shown signs of brilliance, but unfortunately it would go into halftime 1-0. And right before halftime, there was a little bit of a spat as J.M.I. Tolkien, the New York Red Bulls left back, went up for a header, went down hard, no foul was given, and just seconds later, Andres Reyes, the center back, picked up a yellow card for New York on a very hard challenge on Facundo Torres. And then early in that second half, it would be another challenge from Reyes, this one much softer, but because of the tactical nature in which he spun Erkan Kara, Reyes gets a second yellow just 2 minutes into that second half, and just a minute after that, penalty given to Orlando. 2 big refereeing decisions to start the second half from ref Victor Rivas, and the Red Bulls behind the 8 ball. Torres would convert that penalty to make it 2-0 just 51 minutes into the contest. The Red Bulls would be with 10 men for most of that second half. Things did not get much better. Troy Lesesne tried to throw some attacking options onto the pitch, and when you're down 2-0 with 10 men, it's just a mountain to climb, especially against a quality Orlando side who's had ups and downs this year, but on paper, their talent is really remarkable. And they showed that again as Ivan Angulo beat Frankie Amaya, who was forced to play out of position due to Reyes' red card, down the wing with a 1v1 run, squared it across for Facundo Torres, who got his second of the game. He continues to haunt the Red Bulls. He scored earlier this year on a penalty in the season opener down in Orlando for a 1-0 win. Another controversial penalty given against Sean Nealis there. Same deal happened today at Red Bull Arena. And then he scores 2 in this one, scored in the 5-1 rout at the Open Cup last year, scored in Red Bull Arena last year for their 1-0 victory. So Facundo Torres has the Red Bulls number. Orlando unbeaten their last 4 matches with the Red Bulls now. They won all 4 of those. They've really gotten the New York Red Bulls number. But coming away from this one, a lot of the headlines have been surrounded about the refereeing decisions. And this is something that's consistent across MLS the past few weeks. New York City FC came out, Nick Cushing, their head coach, about the refereeing performance from Armando Villarreal, who is one of the more respected referees in the league. Victor Rivas has been around for a while as well. A lot of choice words from the Red Bulls players. Specifically, here's Captain Sean Nealis talking about Victor Rivas' performance.
Yeah, I don't think they were the right decisions. I think in the first half, you see J.M.I. gets fouled right before Andres' yellow. And, it goes back to the Open Cup game. I don't know if Victor is the one that has the most backbone in making these calls. I think you saw them taking a minute on every goal kick, and he wasn't saying anything or giving them a yellow. When we have meetings in the beginning of the year where that's always a yellow, and it's disappointing to see. I don't think the fans come to see that, and I think we let them down tonight.
Surely you never want the refereeing decisions to take away the headlines from a match, but even taking that away, the Red Bulls were second best in this one and deserved to get 0 points. The way in which it was done was demoralizing because it felt like it might have been taken away from them and it weren't really beaten, but Orlando were the better side and deserve all 3 points in this one. They've been the best road team in Major League Soccer this year. Head coach Oscar Pareja got his 50th win at the helm of Orlando, a great milestone for him, one of the more highly touted managers in Major League Soccer. One of the newer managers in Major League Soccer, though, Troy Lesesne, had some words to share with us after the match. Take a listen.
I think the first goal, we obviously don't get this play right. But I think we get a lot of things right in the first half, and again, we create some good opportunities. And even whenever we go down a man, we still stay in and we fight. And I think you have to give the guys a lot of credit to the output that they had on the night and everything they put into the game. Even going down, whenever Lewis was down, we still continued to fight to try to get a goal back in the game. And that's not a moral victory, but I think it does say a lot about the group through this long stretch. We're 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. I think that we made a lot of positive progress, and tonight's disappointing not to finish it off with the win.
After a good run of form at home for the Red Bulls, they dropped this one 3-0 to Orlando City. Now they've got 18 days off with an international break before they welcome back Charlotte FC to Red Bull Arena in what will be a great contest and a good test for the Red Bulls to try to fight back for that playoff line positioning. But as it stands now, the Red Bulls looking on the outside towards in, and they have a lot of work to do. But with players coming back from injury, there's a lot to be excited about. Luquinhas is at the top of that list. He's been remarkable since coming back. Lewis Morgan, we saw come back in that second half, but went down in stoppage time with an injury. You never want to see that, especially for a player who's missed almost 3 months, a player as important as Lewis Morgan. But he's not the only one. Frankie Amaya came back. Kyle Duncan came back, and there's a lot to be excited about for this Red Bulls team. Cautiously optimistic, despite the rough result to Orlando. A lot of factors that they couldn't control in that one. Moving forward, the Red Bulls will have a lot to overcome, but halfway through the season, they consider themselves in a position where they can still do some damage in the second half and make the playoffs and go on a run. For WFOV Sports, I'm James Burley, and I will see you guys next time.